In the grand story of American life, there's this chapter we just don't talk about enough. It's that part that comes after a career ends, when a whole new stage of life is supposed to begin. It's a story that should be about purpose and community and just vitality. Well, today we're diving into the 75-year history of an organization that decided to completely rewrite that chapter. This is the story of HumanGood.
But before we get into the history, let's start with a question for you. What does aging well actually mean? I mean, really, is it about a quiet retirement? Is it just about being, cared for? Or could it be something more? The stories you're about to see, well, they suggest it's something way, way more.
So, meet Janet. From her home base at a HumanGood community, she has explored 117 countries and all 7 continents. She even started a club called the Village Voyagers to share her adventures. This isn't about slowing down. This is about blowing the doors off your world.
And then you've got Lewis. He's just demolishing every single stereotype about aging. The man cycles a staggering 90 miles every single week. That's the new face of vitality right there.
And this is Flossie Lewis. At 91 years young, she was so full of life, so full of wit, that PBS NewsHour featured her. These folks aren't just residents. They are the living, breathing proof of a mission. But to really get how we got here, we've got to go back to the very beginning.
So, how did this whole modern vision even come to be? Well, HumanGood didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was actually born from 4 totally separate journeys, each kicking off in that really optimistic post-World War II era. And they all started with a shared sense of purpose.
Okay, so the first path was cut back in 1949. That's when American Baptist Homes of the West, or ABHOW, was started up in Northern California. The original goal? To provide housing for retired ministers. Pretty simple. Then just a few years later, in 1955, 2 more faith-based groups popped up almost at the same time. Southern California Presbyterian Homes out on the West Coast, and Presby's Inspired Life all the way over on the East Coast. And then decades later, the 4th piece of the puzzle shows up. Beacon Development Group, a team that was all in on building affordable housing. 4 separate groups, all on a collision course they didn't even know about yet.
Now, here's something really cool from that time. ABHOW helped pioneer this model called the Continuing Care Retirement Community, or CCRC. The whole idea was revolutionary. You could move into a community while you were totally independent, and then, if your needs changed over time, you could transition to assisted living or even skilled nursing, all on the same campus. This was a huge departure from the old, isolating old folks' home. It was about creating a stable, supportive home for the entire journey of aging. I mean, talk about peace of mind.
All right, let's fast forward to the 2010s. The entire world of senior living was changing fast. The industry was consolidating, and these mission-driven regional nonprofits, well, they had a choice to make. Get bigger or risk getting left behind.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem they were facing. On one side, you had these small nonprofits. I mean, they had incredibly deep community roots, but they just couldn't compete on things like buying power, technology, or attracting the best talent. Then, on the other side, you had these massive for-profit chains. They had scale, they had national reach, but they often lacked that mission-driven soul. So the leaders of these organizations realized, hey, what if we could combine the best of both worlds? And that's exactly what they did. In 2016, ABHO merged with be.group. That's the new name for Southern California Presbyterian Homes. Boom. Just like that, they became the largest nonprofit provider in California. A year later, they decided they needed one unified name, HumanGood. Then came the final masterstroke in 2019, when they joined forces with Presby's back on the East Coast. All of a sudden, they weren't just a regional player anymore. They were a national powerhouse.
But what's in a name, right? Well, in this case, everything. CEO John Cochran explained that the name HumanGood was incredibly intentional. Human was for the dignity and uniqueness of every single person they serve. And good? Well, that's for their mission to just do good in the world. This wasn't just a rebrand, it was a powerful statement of who they wanted to be.
So, this new, unified HumanGood was ambitious, it was optimistic, it was ready to go. But just as it was really hitting its stride, the world changed completely. And the organization's values, its very existence, were about to be tested by 2 of the biggest crises in modern history.
When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, HumanGood went straight to the data, using it for planning and being radically transparent with the public. Then came a really, really courageous decision. In late 2021, they became one of the very first national providers to require vaccines for all their team members. And just as the pandemic started to ease, a new storm hit, a massive nationwide staffing crisis. They tackled it head-on with new recruiting ideas and, maybe most importantly, by doubling down on their culture as a reason for great people to stay. And by 2024, they'd made it through, moving from full-on crisis mode back to stability.
Having survived that trial by fire, HumanGood came out the other side with this laser-focused philosophy. It wasn't just about providing care anymore. The goal was something way bigger, way more profound. Their mission became their North Star, to inspire your best life. Now, this might sound simple, but it's a huge shift in the industry. It's moving away from that old passive model of just caring for the elderly. Instead, it's about an active, empowering model of helping people live with purpose and passion and growth, no matter what their ages. And this whole mission is built on 5 core values: passion, inclusion, courage, innovation, and impact. And these aren't just feel-good words on a poster, they are the actual DNA of the organization. Passion is what drives their teams. Courage, that's what drove that tough vaccine decision. And innovation is what pushes them to find new and better ways to serve the next generation. It's basically the blueprint for every single decision they make. And you can literally see that innovation in action. They totally revolutionized their dining by partnering with Bon Appetit, bringing scratch cooking and farm-to-table meals to residents. They launched tech programs to help residents master tablets and smartphones. They even built entire new neighborhoods like Rydal Waters with smart home tech baked right in. See, this isn't just about fancy amenities. This is what inspiring your best life actually looks like. But hold on, there's another really important side to this story. While those beautiful life plan communities get a lot of the attention, what the organization calls the soul of its mission is its absolute unwavering commitment to affordable housing. Just look at this number, it says it all. HumanGood provides safe, dignified housing for over 9,000 low-income seniors across the country. We're talking about seniors who might otherwise be facing homelessness or housing insecurity. This right here, this is where their nonprofit roots run the deepest.
And they are true innovators in this space too. They're not just throwing up apartment buildings, they're creating entire ecosystems. In California, they finished a massive $39 million project to preserve 80 affordable homes for generations to come. In Seattle, they built Beacon Pacific Village, a stunning new community that's right next to healthcare and even a childcare center, supporting the whole family. This is what building with purpose on a national scale really looks like.
So, after 75 years of evolution, crisis, and growth, what's next? Well, with a stable foundation under them, HumanGood is now looking toward the future and toward the next big challenges in aging well.
Okay, first things first, the foundation. Financially, the organization has come out of the pandemic stronger than ever. Just look at their California operations, for example. Unrestricted cash grew to over $450 million by 2024. That strength, backed up by a top-tier A credit rating from Fitch, is what gives them the fuel to invest in the future and to dream really, really big.
And they are dreaming big. They're tackling the forgotten middle crisis, trying to create options for seniors who can't afford luxury living but don't qualify for subsidies. They're working to make their communities more connected, like integrated hubs in their neighborhoods instead of isolated islands. And all that cool tech like AI and smart homes, the goal is to move that from being a special pilot program to just being the standard of care.
The 75-year story of HumanGood is honestly a pretty remarkable journey of how 4 small faith-based groups grew into a national leader that's shaping the future of aging. But it also leaves us with a much bigger question. As our entire society gets older, their mission really becomes a challenge for all of us. How are we, as a society, going to ensure that everyone has the chance to live their best life right to the very end?